Hey Amanda. So today for reviewing IXL B13, it's just easier for me to go through the IXL than to give you like a mini lesson. So I'm going to go through each one of these questions and explain how to construct the midpoint. Now, I just logged into B13 and the first part is to mark the midpoint of AB. So if you look at AB, we have that line that goes through it. So that line is the one that signifies that this is the midpoint. Over here, now we are trying to construct the midpoint for AB. Now, in order to do that, when you have a line segment, how your midpoint is drawn is you draw a circle around one endpoint with the radius of the segment, and then you draw a circle around the other endpoint with the same radius. So that's why we have this circle here and this circle here. Once you have those two circles constructed, then you can connect the dots where they intersect with either a segment or a line or whatever. And where it intersects, that is the midpoint. So here they took it one step backwards. Again, this is the circle with the radius of AB drawn with the center at A. So I have to draw a second circle with the same radius. So when you click on circle, you click on the 2 points that you want to make the radius. So that creates my circle with the radius of AB. And I'm going to put the center at B. Once you have that, you see how again you have these points of intersection of the circle. So I'm going to draw that segment. And then I select point, and then where they intersect, that's your midpoint. Here, now we're starting from scratch. So we have to create a circle. We take B and A to create the radius. I'm going to center it at A. Then I'm going to create another circle with the same exact radius, but with the center now at B. And then again, we construct that segment. And then you get the point, and it's the one right in the middle. Let's try that one more time. So a circle, go from B to A. We're going to center it at B. Then do another circle, B to A. You center it at A. Select the segment where they intersect. And then the point would be right in the middle. Well, it says here to just construct the perpendicular bisector, so we don't need to put the point in the middle. So if it's asking you the perpendicular bisector, you don't have to put the point in the middle. When it's asking you for the midpoint, then you put the point in the middle. So perpendicular bisector, again, we're starting from scratch. Select circle with the radius of AB. Okay, we'll center it at B. Again, another circle, center it at A, and then connect those points of intersection. Now it wants the midpoint. So since we're doing the midpoint, again, it's the same exact steps just over and over. So once you kind of get the hang of it, it does become easier. Now the points of intersection for the segment, and I'm going to put the midpoint. Last one, center A, B, put it at B, or you can put it at A first, it doesn't matter. Put at A, connect those points of intersection, and put the point in the middle. Okay, so that is B13. Now let's go to D2, which is a little bit rougher, so be patient with me. Okay, so here we're constructing a perpendicular line. Okay, and it can be super confusing when you look at all of this mess. But basically, it tells you we want to complete or construct a line that goes through A that is perpendicular to BC. So the only line there, we want A to be perpendicular to that line. Everything is already constructed. So in order to complete this construction, you're going to have 3 circles. So if you already see the 3 circles, the construction is done. You just have to create that perpendicular line. So I'm going to select the line. It's got to go through that point A. And then you look for the point where the 2 big circles intersect. So these are my 2 big circles, and it intersects here at E. Here again, we have our 3 circles, so the construction is done, but this time the point that we want to draw the line through is A, which is on the actual line. So you have 2 kinds of perpendicular lines. You have when the perpendicular line is constructed with a point outside of the line, and one where it is constructed on the line. So this is where A is on the line. And this one is a little bit easier to see because you have the 2 circles right next to each other. So the perpendicular line is going to go through A and then either point D or E, whichever you choose. So where those 2 big circles intersect. Now here we have to complete the construction. So we want to construct the perpendicular line that goes through A. So you're going to have the point A, and then you're going to have these 2 points on either side. So we see that there is a circle that connects those 2 points. Then we have one big circle on the outside, and that big circle, it has a radius of BC. So now we need that third circle. So I'm going to select circle, and you're actually going to use the exact same radius as the big one. So that's B to C. But instead of center it at B, which is where it's at right now, we're going to center it at C. So you construct the 2 circles with the radius that's the length of the little circle, and you put one on the outside dot and the other one on the dot over here. And then the perpendicular line goes through A, and then look for that point of intersection of the 2 big circles. Okay, so this is where A is outside of the line. So you're going to have a big circle that connects A to B or D, whichever one, and it creates this circle here, the big one. So now what they've done is created a circle where the center is at B, and it uses the radius of the points of intersection of that big circle that's on this line. So the radius of this circle here is from this point of intersection to this point of intersection. And now what I'm going to do is create another circle with the exact same radius as the one that's on the line. But instead of centering it anywhere else, like you see we have a center at B, we have a center at A, we're going to center it at D. And in order to create the perpendicular line, we connect A to where those 2 circles intersect. So either here or here, they're the same line. C is kind of an extra point. It's just because it's the line BC. But this would be your construction. This is where the point is on the line. The little circle is already constructed. So we need to do the 2 big circles. And what we do is we click on circle, obviously. The radius is going to be the 2 outer circles. So I'm going to select B and C. And I put one circle centered at B. And then I create another circle with the same radius, but now centered at C. And then I select line. I go to A and where those 2 circles intersect. This one here where the point is not on the line. So they have the big circle. We're missing 2 circles. When you have the big circle, you select on circle and you select B and D. You're basically selecting the 2 points where the big circle intersects the line. And then you get this circle. You're going to do this twice. You put the center of the circle at B, and then you do another one. But now this time you center it at D. And then the line goes from A to the point of intersection. Now here you have nothing, okay? We're going to construct a line through A that is perpendicular to AB. So here's your line segment. We want it through A. So first we're going to select circle, and we're going to select the 2 points that are given. And you're going to center it at A, because that's where we want the line to go through. Now we got to do our 2 big circles. So you select B, and then where this circle intersects the line. And it's going to create a big circle. We're going to put the center on either end. So one here at B, and then I do another circle with the same radius, And now you put the center at the other dot. And that perpendicular line goes from A to where those two circles intersect. Last one here, we have it where it's A. We want to go through A. So what we're going to do is we're going to first create our first circle. We go from A to B, and we center it at A, because that's where we want the perpendicular line to go through. So for the first circle, you want to create the circle given the 2 points that are given, and you center it where you want the line to go through. Now we need to create 2 other circles, and those 2 circles are created by this point of intersection and this point of intersection. So we're going to click on this dot, and you put that circle right there. Then we do the same exact thing, but we center it now at the other point. And then the perpendicular line goes from A to where those 2 circles intersect. And those are those 2 IXLs.